Alright, so welcome back to another Drawing in the Dark. My name is Levi Smith, and today we're going to be drawing Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog. He's a hot little item right now, at least he's got a new movie coming out. My wife's a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and yeah, so she suggested that I might draw this character up, and I felt that that wasn't too bad of an idea. So I'm going to try something a little bit different with this one today. I'm actually, so I have to record these, the audio separate from the video. I probably have mentioned that before. So what I'm going to do is actually kind of play the video as I've put it together so far, and then narrate it a little bit more with being able to see what's going on. I think that that'll help my narration, kind of try to stay on topic and follow along a little bit more with what's going on. I am looking, while I draw this, I'm looking at a few different bits of reference. I'm not super duper familiar with Knuckles. I've never drawn him before. I've drawn Sonic a number of times though. So looking at a few different, references and sketching this out. One of the weird things was the tops of his shoes look like Legos, look like little 2x3 Lego bricks. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so, as I'm working up the basic forms and just playing around, I mean, this pose isn't super crazy. I didn't want to go with anything really like hyper foreshortened or super dynamic. I've never really drawn the character before. And I wanted to work out some of the basics. I may draw him again, at some other point. But as of right now, I was fine with just doing like this kind of classic pose. One of the interesting things that I found with drawing Knuckles here is that the stylization and a lot of like the posing cues, I mean, he's a really, really simple character. But there are definitely styling cues and stuff that I've used myself quite a bit with my comic and the comic characters in it, Sleight of Mind, which actually Kenny and I are still working on. We're getting through some lettering and stuff. That one should be available, within the next few months. We'll at least release a PDF and do a limited run print, or if Kenny feels confident enough, perhaps do a Kickstarter. But I don't know if that's something I'll actually be able to work on out here in Montana. But so yeah, but I really found that the stylization, some of the physical proportions, just drawing Knuckles here really reminded me a lot of drawing my own character, Boom, and that was pretty cool. That was kind of fun. So one thing about this, I don't know, I don't want to say channel, but this particular show, the Drawing in the Dark, it's not really a how-to drawing video series. I'm just drawing. There's no, I guess if you might happen to learn something to do or to even not do, that, that's all on you. I'm not really trying to present a methodology, any kind of step-by-step or anything. Sometimes I'll talk about like the decisions that I like to make, but not so much in an instructive way as it is just kind of like a commentary kind of thing. Drawing here with the ballpoint pen, it's been an interesting challenge. It's been something that has kept me from being able to backtrack a lot. I have to be quite a bit more deliberate, and it's hard to even say that a lot of the line movements that you're seeing in this are necessarily deliberate or economic, as they would say in illustration. I do not have a very economic kind of sketching style. A lot of it is tons and tons and tons of scratchy little lines that slowly start to build up the forms, the shapes, the shadows, as you can see with this here. But I like that, there is no undo, there is no back step, there's no erasing with the ballpoint pen, and that's something that, like tattooing, it kind of makes me deal with my choices. So if I did something that was a little too chaotic, a little too poorly planned, I still have to deal with it. And I definitely, I don't tattoo like this whatsoever. Well, we were getting a little bit of a peek maybe in on the design on the other page there. If you want to see what the skeleton arm and staff and bat wing and all that stuff is all about, you're going to have to check out the Patreon page. I did not record that one. I really, really probably should have. But since I'm on that, that's something that I think I might start doing, is doing a drawing video of really other type stuff, maybe like less pop culture-y type stuff, and then at least putting that on the Patreon, and then letting you kind of see a little peekaboo here and there of what that is, because it's all being done in this one sketchbook. But if you want to see more of that, you're going to have to check out the Patreon. I really wish I did have the video of that process that I could show off. That would have been great. That would have been an awesome little bonus for the patrons, I would say. So this one really didn't take very long for me to draw, actually. It's a really simple character. It's not really super complex. I'm not adding in a lot of background or anything. In fact, the background is pretty weak. I think I could have done something better with that. Maybe doing like Knuckles' head or something, something other than just the rough, quick circle that I drew at the very, very beginning, and kind of reinforcing that. But anyway, these are the markers that I'm using to color this are watercolor markers. They're not alcohol markers, and they don't really bleed through the paper really at all. And that's why I'm using them in the sketchbook. But the options that I have as far as colors are actually really limited, and they don't so much. I got just a water brush marker that I could refill with water. I got that with the set, and that was really one of the things I was going for. And I suppose really the use for that, I use it in this, but not to very good effect in my opinion. I really think that that's meant for just using actual watercolors and using that brush in the same way that I would use these pigment brushes, as they are. But the color limitations really kind of jammed me up in this. I had to make some choices to build things up in a way that I could get some variation, but the intensity and stuff, I really would have liked to have been able to control the intensity of a lot of these markers. The pigment saturation and stuff was just way too high for really how I wanted to build this up. And so I definitely, after doing this one, I've really got to get a set of better watercolors, and then use the water pen as the primary tool. My choices for like Knuckles' face here, I really couldn't, it was either like lemon yellow or do this kind of like cinnamon brown, which I ended up going with the cinnamon brown, but that was too heavy, too dark for me. And I tried to use this white color pencil from just a standard Crayola color pencil, which was just worked out terrible. One of the things that was cool is going over the watercolor pigment with the ballpoint pen again. Really, let me lay down a little bit heavier of a ballpoint pen, get a little bit darker with some areas and stuff. I could have gone a little bit darker with this, but I was really worried about being able to add in highlights and stuff and destroying the contrast that I did have. So I kind of got a little shy about that. Took a little step back. So with the limitations that I have with the pigment pens, these watercolor pens, which they're not bad, they're just really limited as far as their color range. I think I ended up getting like more than 12 different colors. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just not quite the range or the intensities that I like to get out of them. So that is something that I'm going to focus on getting, and then maybe even getting some white gel pens and a couple of better white color pencils, so I can do a little bit better of a job. I have a lot of that stuff in Phoenix, but I want to get almost a separate set of the art gear, only really what I necessarily need to use up here, and then that way I don't have to kind of like take all my stuff up from Phoenix. So yeah, and then working on this background and stuff, I really did not like how the blues turned out. I wasn't really able to control it, where I really think that if I had just using this watercolor brush, the water brush, and just some like traditional watercolor, I could have been able to build it up, blend it out and stuff, and had a little bit more fun with it. I just kind of like stopped where I was after a point because it just wasn't working for me. It was frustrating me. But yeah, so this is today's episode. I don't know if I'm going to do these once a week. I might try to do them twice a week. It doesn't necessarily take me that long to put them together. And so I would like to maybe bump up the frequency of these and try to get a little bit more traction out of them. But of course, my name is Levi Smith. This is Drawing in the Dark. If you want to check us out on Patreon, that is patreon.com/mopandbucket. I've got a podcast called Pop Culture Classics that I do with my buddy Kenny, who's a producer on a lot of these projects. We've got art books on KDP, a variety of other items, merchandise, t-shirts on our store, jademonkey.net. The links are all in the description. You know what to do. And if you like what you saw, and if you made it this far, like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Check you later.